Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Eastleigh save. And before we get started, make sure you hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this and so much more. But let's jump into things. So today we have got Northampton Town in the league. We are sitting pretty in second, 3 points behind first, which are Cambridge United, and just ahead of the likes of Cheltenham in third by 1 point, and then Forest Green by 3. So we've got a little bit of leeway, nothing too fantastic, but it's leeway nonetheless. I can show you kind of where we've got to. So we played Notts County last time. A 2-1 win against them was very, very nicely received. A Mansfield 3-1 win was up next. Carl Hudlin getting 2 goals again, who's been absolutely on fire, our top goal scorer this season. A 0-0 draw against Colchester came after that, which was a bit disappointing that we didn't get a goal in there. Carlisle, we beat 2-0. Ben House and Callum Rowe getting the goals there. We had to kind of swap a few players out just because of tiredness, really. Then we had Stevenage, where we drew 0-0. Another kind of boring contest, really, but it was okay. Nothing too much to worry about there. It was the game after that we were a bit upset about. Lost 3-1 to Cambridge United. Again, we had to play Kaya Shaka and Tom Broadbent at centre-back. So neither of our two main centre-halves playing there. Carl Jenkinson had to come in at right-back as well. So we had a bit of a mix-up at the back because of that. Which I think led to the 3-1 loss, which is it's fine. It's nothing too stressful. It's just a shame it was against Cambridge United, who are fighting for the top spot with us. We did get a 3-0 win against Sutton, though. Asante and O'Connor getting the goals there. Then a 3-1 win in the Papa John's Trophy Southern Group Stage round thing. Again, a big rotation of the squad, and we won 3-1. Ben House, Whitehall and Broadbent all getting goals in that one. Carl Hudlin then went on to score a hat-trick against Morecambe. Again, just cementing how good he is for us. And then finally, a Maidstone 2-1 win at home, with Asante and Hudlin getting the goals there as well, which leads us to Northampton today. We will be playing Walsall in the next round of the Papa John's Trophy. Again, it will probably be a rotated side. We're not really too fussed about that. I'd rather just get promoted, because we'll be in that competition anyway next season if we are. And then Fleetwood in the FA Cup second round, following our win against Maidenhead. So a bit of a challenge as they are in the league above, but it will be a good test to see if we can we'll need to strengthen before next season. But there you go. We're nearly halfway through the season. Got a few games left yet till then, but we're looking good. We're looking solid. The tactic's still working, which is nice. The boys haven't completely bottled things like they did at the end of last season until they won the playoffs. But it is a largely different side. We have had to play Carl Jenkinson at centre-back. He's done all right there, to be fair, alongside Broadbent for a game or two, because O'Connor and Magoma are both out injured or have niggling injuries, which we're going to have to leave in again today. We will pop Zach Swanson, I think, in for Vincent Harper, just because of the legs. He's got a few more on him. And then we've got Rowe on the left, McGavin in the middle with Dreyer and Wakwe on the right, and then Hudlin and Asante up top. A few players on the bench. Tom Whelan wants to leave, which I've allowed him to. He was very good last season. He's not getting the game time he probably deserves this season. So I'm willing to let him go. It's absolutely fine. I don't want to hold him back, sort of thing. But otherwise, very, very positive. We've got Ashby Hammond in goal at the moment because McDonald's been out injured for quite some time now. But he's done very well as well. So we'll jump into the game. It's time to take a look at the squad, see how we get on against the likes of Northampton Town, and fingers crossed, a win will mean that we keep this momentum going. We've got a kind of a 4-game win streak at the moment, and I'd like to keep that powering through. Carl Hudlin has been phenomenal. He's got 20 goals this season already in 18 games, or 17 games, 18 if you include today. So he's been absolutely brilliant. Not necessarily, like, looking at his stats, he's not necessarily a player that you'd think would be phenomenal, but I think it's just because of how we play that really shows how good he is. But he's been scoring a couple of kind of been put through on goal and finished them as well. So it's not just his head that he's good with. But there you go. Joe Hare back to Uwakwe. They're working it on this side. A ball in. Hudlin not able to get there. So just Josh Hare who scores straight from across. I'm assuming Hudlin maybe put the keeper off a bit, because that was we'll say that because the keeper's had a mare otherwise. But they did well this side to keep hold of the ball. Hare turns, crosses it in. Hudlin doesn't bother going for it, and the keeper just swings at it and misses, and it gives us a 1-0 lead. It's a long kick from Ashby Hammond, and Hudlin's able to nod that down to Asante. Does play it back to Hudlin, who works out wide to Awakwe, who will probably try and get this cross in, or play it back to Josh Hare, who always does manage to. As we saw earlier, he might, not sure this one will be going in, but Hudlin's header is just over the bar, and it works very nicely. It's again one of those where we're able to make the most of kind of those balls in and set pieces, and Hudlin is causing absolute havoc as usual for them. Josh Hare into Awakwe, back to Hare, who's ball in to the back post. Hudlin is there. There's his goal. Carl Hudlin is the goal scorer. A fantastic assist by Hare, but it looks like it might be offside. Oh, that's so disappointing. It's laid back. Hare with the ball. I mean, if that line's right, he is miles offside. But he was found at the back post, and we worked that well. It does work very, very well. Cambridge United were actually 1-0 down to Harrogate, but they've managed to claw one back to level things, which is, I mean, if Harrogate can get something off them, that would be great, especially considering how low in the league Harrogate are at the moment. McGavin's ball in, back post, Dreyer heads it across. Rowe somehow hits it over the bar, but I think it was blocked, so we'll let him off that one. But it's a corner for us. McGavin with that corner. Ball comes in near post. Hudlin with the header. And it just goes over again. He's got to put one of those away at some point. That's probably the role that gets him the most goals in corners, is that run into the near post. He manages to beat most players in the air. So it's quite... He gets enough chances, really, to be scoring that many goals. But there you go. I think we might leave it as it is for now. We might have to look at bringing McGavin off at some point, and Hudlin as usual, due to the legs issue. We want to make sure that the boys stay fit and are able to keep running around, because that's quite important when you play football. But the ball's nodded back to McGowan after taking the throw in, and he's coming down this right hand side. He looks like he's got a bit of a knock, but the ball's played back post. Koki with the head down, and Jordan Flores with the goal. It levels things 1-1 straight after half time. We've got to react now, because that is not a good start to the second half. We weren't able to deal with that ball when it came back to the back post. McGowan just went all the way there. Swanson maybe should have done a little better there, but the ball's back post. Hare's nowhere near him, and no one's marking Flores. And he's just got an easy tap in to make it 1-1. Now it's a Ashby Hammond goal kick. Now, a lot of the time you'd be a bit worried that the defender's going to win this, but with the players we've got up front, I'm more than confident that they can win the header, which Asante does do, but isn't quite able to find Hudlin, his strike partner. The ball's played long again. Are we able to deal with this? We do. Tom Broadbent brings it down lovely, and Swanson, playing at left back today, receives it nicely. Rowe into Swanson again, who was looking for that overlap, but wasn't quite willing to try and match the defender for pace. The long ball up top doesn't quite find Hudlin, and now Flores on the ball. The goal scorer for Northampton plays it into Koiki, who in fact was the assister for the first goal and was so close to making it 2-1 and getting the goal for the second. That was very, very close. Hitting the post, not ideal for us. Broadbent into McGavin, and we're keeping it short. Asante now looking out wide, but it's cut out by Connolly. It's a poor pass, really, and we're going to have to work hard to get back. It's a long range effort from him, and that's nowhere near the goal. Okay, Hudlin, you can come off. We'll bring Whitehall on, who's been actually pretty good this season, to be fair. We'll bring Pritchard on as well in centre midfield for him, and we'll take Swanson. Well, we've got some moving around to do, really. Swanson can play centre midfield, to be fair, which we might end up doing at some point, and training him up there, because it could be, looking at some of his stats, he could be a decent central midfielder, especially ball winning. But they're still on top at the moment. The ball comes in. We aren't able to deal with that, and they've hit the bar again. Awakwe with the clearance, and it does fall to Whitehall. Can we make something happen? Can he kind of hold ball up and move it around a bit? to get some space. They've got a lot of players back. Danny Whitehall's still doing very well on that right-hand side to try and work something out, but we can't quite create something there. Forest Green Rovers do have a game in hand on us, so we really need a win here to be able to keep ahead of them in the league table. We are sitting second still, so we've got a bit of leeway as it's the top 3 that get promoted, but automatically that is. But we still need to get a win, really. Ball played wide to Hare from Whitehall, who's going to look to probably get a ball back to Dreyer and to Wakwe. They're working it well in the little triangles, getting it on top of each other's feet as a little bit. Ball's played across. Asante's shot is blocked, and now they're going to look to clear the ball long, but we sweep that up quite nicely in the end. Rowe at left back now, playing it up to Pritchard into Whelan. Then into Asante, who plays it through to Whitehall, who's not got the pace to get away from him, but has got some good movement and good in the air as well. So I wouldn't put it past him getting a goal today. Back to Pritchard, into Rowe, ball into Asante, whose header hits the crossbar. How much woodwork do we want today? Both us and Northampton hitting the woodwork a good couple of times. We've had a few clear-cut chances that we haven't really been able to make the most of. And our XG is looking fantastic. Please don't score here, because that would just be an absolute blow. Ashby Hammond with the save very, very nicely in the end to keep it at 1-1. As the clock starts to tick down, we've got 30 seconds left and they have got a corner. This could spell trouble for us if we don't deal with it well. It is dealt with, headed clear, and it looks like Whitehall's actually going to get onto the end of that. Are we going to be able to make something happen here? Dreyer, looking forward, isn't able to find anyone just yet. Plays it out to Awakwe, down the line to Hare, and Awakwe again. I think this might be the end of the game. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to create something, as Northampton have got back into formation again and sitting behind that ball. And there we go. It is 1-1 against Northampton. A little bit frustrating, as I think we probably should have won that ultimately, or at least done a little better. I mean, I guess by stats wise, it's maybe they look quite even, so it's probably a draw is probably well earned by them. But it's just a bit frustrating, especially considering we've now dropped to third in the table after a good run of form. But it's not a loss. We haven't lost. We've still got a point from that game. There's still plenty more of the season to come. As I mentioned, we're only just about reaching halfway. But we'll be back for more soon, I'm sure. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of Carl Hudlin. I mean, it's one of those players, like, let me know what you think of his kind of stats there as well. Like, is that a player you think could be performing at League 2 level? Because they seem to think he's a National League player. But, I mean, he's banging in the goals so far this season. He's got 21 goals in 20 appearances for us in general. So, has been absolutely fantastic. But, yeah, just let me know what you think. It's an interesting kind of situation. His passing's not great. His technique's not great. His dribbling is alright. But, yeah, interesting. It's an interesting thing we've got going on. But, I mean, as long as he's banging in the goals, I do not mind at all. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will catch you in the next one.